Hello and welcome to the first of By the Dead River Builder. I'm Curtis Hoffman. I'm with 3 Steps Over Japan, a little website that I've got that talks about things that you can find in Japan. Kind of obviously, I guess. Anyway, what I want to do is start talking about a new kit series that has been coming out from Japan for about 5-6 years now. I should say recent rather than new. This is called the Adult Science Kit. It's from a company called Gakken. And one of the things that Gakken has been known for in the past is its 150-piece electronics build-it kit that puts all of the little components inside plastic blocks that makes it easier to assemble the circuit that you want to make. Well, they've been doing this kind of thing for a long time now, and they're also a publisher of high school textbooks and magazines for families, women, children, men, and so on. And in 2003, they came out with this adult science magazine book kit. Now, in Japanese, magazine and book is combined into what's called a mook. Now, a mook is what it sounds like. It's a big magazine style book that has a lot of color photos, and in this case, instructions for different kinds of things that you can build on your own, as well as advertisements for other kits that they've got. One of the examples for a build-it-yourself project is an example for how to amuse children by showing that a ping pong ball can be held at the bottom of a bottle of water. You cut the bottle upside down, put the ball next to the mouth of the bottle, pour water on top, and suction keeps it down. There's also instructions for how to build a theremin using the 150-piece kit. A couple years later, Gakken comes out with an actual theremin kit that's part of this line. There are also interviews with people that have been collecting science toys for the last 40 years, as well as a comic talking about the rivalry between Edison and some of his contemporaries. Now, this particular book is volume 1 of their MOOC series. There's actually 22 volumes out as of 2009. I haven't found any indication that there's going to be any more in the near future as part of the numbered series, but there are a couple unnumbered kits that have come out as well, which include the premium theremin at about $100 and the premium synthesizer, which is $30. Both of which aren't part of the volume numbers, but they're still MOOCs. Now, for volume 1, Gakken decided that they were going to introduce the Putt Putt boat. In Japanese, it's Poon Poon. Oddly enough, in the book, when they write it in English, it's Pop Pop. This kind of boat has been around for a very, very long time, and the science behind it is very, very simple. You have a small chamber where you allow water to come in through a pair of exhaust pipes. Water comes in one pipe, is heated by some kind of fire source, in this case a candle, turns into steam, and is then forced out the other two, which then creates a vacuum inside the chamber, pulling in colder water. The colder water then gets heated and then forced back out again. The trick is to prime one of the tubes first in order to have some kind of steam path when you put the thing in your water source, such as a lake, pond, or swimming pool. All Gakken kits are simple. They're very easy to build, but they're aimed at adults, hence the name. In this particular case, this kit consisted of the pontoons, the steam chamber, a candle holder, 4 small candles. The bottom of the boat has 5 mounting holes that allow you to put the lead pontoon as far back or as far forward as you want for the type of water and weather conditions you have. Right now it's actually a little bit windy, so it's going to be something of a challenge for this little thing to go in a straight line. Although you can, of course, modify the direction of the pontoon in order to aim against the wind. There's also a small drill hole in one fin that allows you to attach thread. So instead of just simply putting this thing in a bathtub or a small pond, you can actually run it across the river, and when the candle burns out, just simply reel it back in, depending on the length of your thread. Now, one of the other things about this particular MOOC, Volume 1, is that Gakken has been involved in science toys since the 1960s, and they wanted to celebrate their history of science toys, as well as trying to show what people thought the future was going to be like 40 years ago. Obviously, we didn't get particularly close. Now, one of the things that's kind of interesting here is that the creator of Akira, Otomo-san, had created his movie Steam Boy before this book came out. So there's actually an illustration from him, from Steam Boy, as part of one of the stories about how steam can be used for propelling vehicles, such as a steam car. There was even an attempt at a steam robot human. The smoke would come out through a cigar that the robot was holding, and he was dressed in plate metal, so you'd have smoke coming out of the top of his helmet as well. These are great introductory books for adults trying to learn science. There's a lot of information behind the kind of kit that you've got. So when you do the telescope kit, there's going to be optics and astronomy. In this case, we're talking about steam and vehicle propulsion. The books, of course, are in Japanese. They're a Japanese publisher. There doesn't seem to be an American version of this book yet. So in that case, or in that sense, trying to understand a lot of the science in here is going to be difficult. But most of this stuff is already on the net. So all you have to do is a Wikipedia search or a university search, and you're going to get the same information that's in here because it's coming from the same sources. Now, every one of these kits include instructions for how to customize it. And because this is the very first kit, their attempts at customization were pretty primitive. In this case, the boat has as its primary fuel source a little candle. However, there's also instructions for using aluminum foil to create a little dish that you put salt and whiskey in. You light the whiskey and the salt acts like a candle wick. Salt also ends up melting. I'm going to try doing that as well today. I haven't tried using this thing before, so I have no idea how well this is going to work. But I'm going to try.